Hi guys, welcome back to the next episode of the SamDjanShow. Today I'm ranking the MCU movies, so let's get into it. Welcome back to the next episode of the SamDjanShow. Today I'm ranking the MCU movies. Now I did rank this in 2021, so let's get into it. This is gonna be a long video. Now before I do this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell on this algorithm. So yeah, I have all of the movies here. So let's all start from there's 31 movies to go through. So yeah, let's start with Thor Ragnarok. Um, it's no surprise. For the Dark World, I think it's probably the worst MC movie, and the reason for that is because I just feel like this movie, it just doesn't have what the first movie had. It didn't have the charm, and I love the first one so much because I feel like it had jokes. Uh, the villain was interesting. I thought Loki was a bad villain. I just did not like I don't like the visuals. Um, I don't like Malekith. I think he's the worst MC villain, and they wasted Christopher Eccleston. Um, so Jane Foster, she didn't need to be in this movie. You can take out this movie; it doesn't really change nothing. I did not like the chemistry between her; just not good. And also, I think the best thing of probably this movie is probably Odin and probably Loki and Thor. I think they're the best things out of this movie. But yeah, this is the worst one. This is probably the most boring one of the MCU in the way it looks, and I just don't like the third act. So yeah, that's Thor: The Dark World. Number 30, I have Iron Man 3. Now Iron Man 3. Um, this is probably the worst Iron Man movie. I think one is the best one. Two is okay, but I just do not like Iron Man 3. I just don't like it. I don't like Aldrich Killian, and I don't like what they did with the Mandarin. I just wish we had the proper Mandarin, which we did get in Shang-Chi, but it just sucks how Iron Man is never going to face the Mandarin, which is his main villain. And there's just so much in this movie that's just um. That's Iron Man 3. Like, it's not my favorite MC movie. It's just not one I go back to. But yeah. Number 29, I have Iron Man 2. Now, this is the I like this more than 3, but I feel like this one is just such a step down from the first movie. And my biggest problem with this movie is that I feel like there's just too much going on. Like, you have Nick Fury, then you also have Black Widow, um you also have Justin Hammer, and you also have Whiplash. I think Justin Hammer is good. He's one of the best parts of this movie. And Nick Fury and Black Widow. Um, my problem is Whiplash. I thought Mickey Rourke was good. I just didn't know how Whiplash looked. I wish they went with more in the comics, but I thought the suit up was good. I thought their final battle between with War Machine and Iron Man was good, but it's just a problem. The problem with it just sets up too much, and yeah, it's just not my favorite. I'll rather watch the first movie because I feel like I had the heart, and just didn't have it. And it's good at times, but it's just not one I'll go back and watch. Number 28, I have Eternals. Now, Eternals is this is part of Phase 4. My problem with Eternals is I just feel like it tries so hard to be different, but it just didn't work. Like, you can show they were trying to do something different, and this movie, this was directed by Chloe Zhao. You could tell this movie they filmed on location, and it wasn't just a set. It wasn't just like a set where they filmed everything. Usually, what they do in the MC movie, like you can tell, like it was filmed on location. And the problem I have with this movie, I just feel like the story just wasn't good, and it's a lot of showing and not telling. Like tell you a lot of stuff. The thing is, they really don't explain the movie. I don't like any of the characters. I just thought you wasted Angelina Jolie and you also wasted Salma Hayek. And I just and they had and there's like and it's just Homelander. No, not Homelander. Icarus being the villain. Like, I like Richard Madden, but like he was just trying to be Homelander, Superman, and evil Superman, and we've had so many evil Supermans, and the problem is, I just feel like I would have loved the stuff in the past. I would have loved it if it just stayed in the past and not the present, not present day. Like I thought the stuff in the past was interesting. The opening was good. It was the past, and then it goes in the present day, and it just doesn't work. And it just can't. There's too much. There's too much plot holes with this movie because they asked where were they when they fight Thor and Thanos, and they said they weren't allowed to. They weren't allowed to interfere with with stuff, and they even interfered during the movie, and it just doesn't know. I thought the cast was okay. I thought Cersei and them were good. I thought Cersei was okay, but she was just a boring protagonist. She added nothing to it. And I thought everyone was okay. Brian Tyree Henry, who else was in it? Liam McHugh, Barry Coogan. It's just overall, it's just not my favorite. I feel like it could have been good, but it's just they just picked a bad story. And I don't want Eternals 2. No, I wouldn't mind if they show up in other movies, like team up movies. So that is Eternals. And yeah. Number 27, I have Captain Marvel. Now, when they announced this movie, they announced they were going to do this movie. I saw the trailer, I thought it was okay. I went and watched it, and I did not like this movie. It was boring. It was too much stuff going on. Um, I didn't like Brie Larson in this movie. I think the best part of this movie was Samuel Jackson. Clark Gregg's in this movie. He doesn't do much. I thought Lashana Lynch was good. Jude Law's in here. He's the villain, and it's such a waste of Jude Law. They did nothing with him, and Annette Bening is in this as Marvel, which they gender swapped the character, which I didn't care, but it's such a waste of Annette Bening because she didn't really do anything. Like, and I think overall, I just think the movie's it's just bad. It's just too many flaws in it. Because this was set during the '90s, and I hated what they did with Nick Fury, like how he lost his eye. I hated how it was just a cat that scratched his eye in this. And yeah, so that's Captain Marvel. I just don't like Brie Larson as an actress. Like I just don't. Yeah, she was in Room. She was in Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, a lot of the stuff she like Unicorn Store. She was also in Don John. She was in United States of Tara. She's done a lot of stuff, but I don't know. The Marvels will be coming out, which I'm not looking for. Well, I have to see a trailer, but I'm not watching it for Captain Marvel. I will watch it for Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan. So that is Captain Marvel. Next is Thor: Love and Thunder. It is the fourth Thor movie. Thor is the first character to get 4 movies, and this movie was disappointing. And like I did not like Thor. I did not like any. I thought Thor 1 was okay. I did not like Thor: The Dark World. I did not like Ragnarok. So going into this film, I knew it just wasn't going to be good. I mean, the trailers and I thought I loved the trailer. I think the first one they did, the one that had Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. I thought it was good. And it's just, I thought Chris Hemsworth, I just thought he was stupid. He was an idiot as Thor. I thought Jane Foster, I thought Natalie Portman is good as Jane Foster. I think this is probably the best they've done with her because I just did not like her in the first 2 movies because she was just boring and bland and they didn't really do anything with her. And I think the chemistry with Thor was kind of good and they kind of improved it in this movie. But I just feel like it's not enough. And I just did not like the jokes. I did not like the Screaming Goats, which was a meme from a Vine from like 2013. Valkyrie was good. Tessa Thompson was good. But I did not like Korg. He was annoying. Russell Crowe's in this. They waste him. They do nothing with him. And you have a Hercules who shows up at the end. Also, you have, let's talk about Gore the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale. What a waste of Christian Bale. Like, first of all, I didn't even like the design. I wish they went with the one in the comics, but I liked Gore. I just thought they didn't do enough with him, and then when he showed up, they didn't do enough with him. I mean, the times he showed up was good, and then he dies, and then they don't use the character again. I don't want to see a Thor 5. Like, I would see a Thor 5, but I don't want Taika Waititi to direct it. I would want Kenneth Branagh, but I just don't see it happening. And I doubt Alan Taylor would come back. But so that's Thor: Love and Thunder. Next we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, the second Ant-Man movie. I just don't like this movie. To me, I just find it boring. I feel like it adds nothing to the MCU. Like you can skip this movie. It adds absolutely nothing to the overall story of the MCU. I say that because there's really nothing in this movie. It's basically Scott Lang who was on house arrest in Civil War, and basically he teams up with the Wasp, and then they go find Janet Fonda. And it's pretty much one of the movies. I just don't like the jokes. It was boring. It was bland. I didn't like the villain. Ghost, which I didn't mind. The actress was fine. I just feel like they just didn't give her enough material. We will be seeing Ghost again in the Thunderbolts. I hope they improve her in Thunderbolts. But overall, this movie was just such a step down. I just loved the first movie, and this one was just such a step down. And it was just boring. And yeah, next is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, directed by James Gunn. Um, and this movie, you have Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana. I thought they were great. Dave Bautista was good. Vin Diesel was good. Bradley Cooper was good. Kurt Russell was good as Ego. They didn't wait. They did a lot with Kurt Russell, and I like Nebula. I like her friendship with Gamora. I liked how we found out more about Peter's dad. Um, and basically how he killed his mom, and I loved it. There were good parts of it. I just thought it was just too jokey, and I just thought I love how Yondu died. Like when he died, when he sacrificed himself, dude, I was crying. It was such an emotional scene, and yeah, this is this movie's okay. I won't say it's a bad movie. I just feel like it's a massive step down from Guardians of the Galaxy 1. But I love that movie so much, and this one was just kind of a step down. Which yeah, I'm looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which will be coming out in May, 2 months time. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it's better than this movie. Next is Spider-Man Far From Home. That is the second Spider-Man movie in the MCU. And this movie is probably the worst one. It stars Tom Holland, Jake Gyllenhaal, Kobe Smulders, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, and Samuel Jackson. The reason I don't like this movie is that I just feel like it's just not a Spider-Man movie. It's not a Spider-Man. They don't. The way they treat Peter Parker, like Peter Parker, basically goes on a school vacation to Europe, to London, and then basically they just destroy Peter's character. Like he gives, like he meets Mysterio, and then he has the sunglasses called Edith that Tony had, and then he just gives the glasses to Mysterio, and then somebody he doesn't even know, and then he takes the glasses, and then Mysterio becomes evil, and then you find out that he got screwed over by Tony Stark, and there was flashbacks, and yeah, it's the same thing. Like they did it with so many times, and yeah, I liked how at the end we find out that Maria Hill and Nick Fury, they're Skrulls. I thought that was good. I liked how we saw Samuel Jackson in the post-credit scene. And yeah, I love the illusion scene that Mysterio used on Spider-Man. I thought it was great. I loved the illusion scene. And I thought the third act was good on them in London with Mysterio and Spider-Man. And it's just my biggest problem with the movie is just I don't like the high school stuff. And as you can see, there's more high school stuff in this one than there was in Homecoming. And yeah, so that's the biggest problem with this movie. But I think this is just the weakest one. Like I prefer Homecoming and I prefer No Way Home way more to this movie. Number 22, we have Thor, the first Thor movie, directed by Kenneth Branagh. Um, I'll say this is probably my favorite Thor movie, and I feel like, and I say that because I feel like this one it tapped into mythology. It's we have the Shakespearean type Thor, and I hated. I did not like how they got rid of it in the later movies, and I know it was a great movie. Like Chris Hemsworth had Natalie Portman. Their chemistry wasn't good, but I mean you have Tom Hiddleston as Loki. You had Idris Elba as Heimdall, which they didn't really do anything with him. But I thought it was okay. You had Anthony Hopkins as Odin. Odin's like the best part of this movie. Um, I think the problem with this movie is just I feel like because it's a Phase 1 movie. I feel like this is probably the weakest one out of them because, like, I love the stuff on Asgard. The problem is we don't see enough of it, and the problem is they leave the he leaves Asgard and then he's on Earth. And the problem is all the stuff on Earth is all boring. It's just a typical fish out of water. Thor comes to Earth. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know where he doesn't know. Also, Hawkeye is in this movie, which I didn't even know he was in this movie. And Rena Russo is in a Place Store's mum, Frigga, which I actually liked. She dies in the second movie though, but this movie's okay. I don't like the Earth stuff, but it's an enjoyable movie. I'll watch it once in a while. I think it's the best Thor movie we've had. Number 21, I have Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. This is the third Ant-Man movie, and this is the first movie of Phase 5. And this is the most recent MCU movie. It came out in February. And I did watch this twice, and I did a review on it. And this movie is this movie was disappointing. Like I saw the trailers, like like when they announced they were gonna do a third Ant Man, I was like, oh, I didn't care for it. Look, I love Ant Man one. I love the Ant Man the Wasp. Now, when they announced this movie, I just didn't care for it. And then it was called Ant Man the Wasp: Quantumania, and they said it was gonna be Avengers type movie. I saw the trailers and I thought, oh, this was good. So I went and watched it, and I was just so let down. Like I don't like you have Kang the Conqueror played by Jonathan Majors, which he's the best part of this movie. Here, her and him and Michelle Pfeiffer, they're the best part of this movie. I don't like Scott Lang. I just feel like he's just not good in this movie. And Wasp Evangeline Lilly's good, but the problem is they don't really do anything with her. You have the daughter Cassie Lang played by Catherine Newton, which I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like the other actress, the one who played her in Avengers Endgame. She was great. I don't know why they got rid of her. So, um, like like Cassie Lang, I think she's good. I feel the problem is they just did not give her good material. Michael Douglas is good as Hank Pym, and yeah, the best part is Kang the Conqueror played by Jonathan Majors, which um I don't know if you've read which Jonathan Majors he did get arrested last week, which I think it's been resolved. I don't think it's not is gonna I don't think nothing's gonna happen to him. I think he will still be Kang, but um this movie is not doing well because this movie is a flop, which it made 460 of 60 million, and then you can feel like, oh, that's good, but you have to factor in that the budget was 200 million, so I think only like 600 to break even, and it's nowhere even close to that. So it's the lowest Iron Man movie, which is like I thought this movie would do well, but it's really not doing well. And it had a Rotten Tomato score, which is like up, it's in the 40s, it's like up there with Eternals. And yeah, overall, it's just not my favorite. If they do an Ant-Man 4, I don't want Peyton Reed to direct it. I don't want Peyton Reed. Get another director. I just do not want Peyton Reed to direct it. Moving on, number 20, Avengers Age of Ultron. This is my least favorite Avengers movie, and the reason for that is I just feel like it just did not have the charm the first one had. Like, I thought the first one, it was more easy to follow. The villain was good. I did not like Ultron. I don't like how they treated him. Um, I thought it was okay. He looked good. He looked good. James Spader did a good job. The problem with it is just I don't like how he was telling jokes, and the problem with it is that he just felt like an evil Tony Stark. He didn't do anything like when you and like the other problem I have with this movie is that I feel like there's just too much in this movie, and like you could tell there's too much setup in it. Like the setup from Thor Ragnarok to Black Panther, Infinity War. There's so much setup for other movies, and it just doesn't make it. It just doesn't make it like so. Um, I feel like Joss Whedon. I feel like you can tell the studio interfered with this movie a lot, and the thing with this movie, I feel like it could have been better. Like if you watch that trailer, you'll see how dark it was, and like you watch this, and it just is nowhere even near as like. I thought Ultron was cool, but yeah, that's Avengers: Age of Ultron. Moving on, we have Thor Ragnarok, which this is the third Thor movie. This was directed by Taika Waititi, and I don't like this movie. I would rather watch this than Thor: Love and Thunder. Um, and look, even though Thor one is is the best Thor movie. I think this is the most enjoyable Thor movie because it has, like, you have Hulk, you have Valkyrie, you have Loki, you have Hela, which is a good villain played by Kate Blanchett. You have you have so much going for it. The problem with I have with this movie, I just don't like the jokes, and I just feel like it's a bit over the top. I feel like there was a balance here, whereas in Thor: Love and Thunder there was no balance to the jokes, and that's just what hurts that movie. And that's all. I think it's the most enjoyable one. Like I like the fight at the end where they play the immigrant song. I like the fight with Hulk and Thor. Um, so yeah, it's Thor Ragnarok. I wouldn't watch it. I think it's okay. I don't watch it all the time, but next is Black Widow. This is the first movie of Phase 4. I love this movie. I thought it was great. I love Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, um, David Harbour, Rachel Weisz, Florence Pugh, Ray Winstone, and so yeah. I wanted Black Widow forever. I really wanted it. Um, I think the problem with this movie, I just feel like it was just too little, too late. Like it should have come in like Phase 3. I don't know why it came out Phase 4. But yeah, Black Widow, which the reason why this movie is even more is useless is because basically Black Widow she dies in Endgame. So basically because of that, this movie is pretty much a prequel, but it takes place right after Civil War. So I'm like, why didn't this come out after Civil War? But it's an okay movie. Like it's enjoyable. I love the action. I love the chemistry between Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh. I like Rachel Weisz and David Harbour. I think the chemistry between them is good. And Taskmaster, I thought it was okay. I just thought she was underused. I had no problem with her being a woman, which we will see her again, and I think Thunderbolts. Overall, Black was okay. I would have wanted an R-rated one, maybe in Phase 3, but yeah. Number 17, I have Ant-Man. Now, this is the first Ant-Man movie directed by Peyton Reed. I think Paul Rudd was great in this. Evangeline Lilly was good as Wasp. I love Michael Douglas. Michael Pena was good in this movie. Yeah, Bobby Cannavale. And yeah, this was a great, fun, enjoyable little movie in the MCU. Like this is a fun movie. Like Ant-Man is. It was a heist movie. I love Falcon in this movie. Like I love Ant-Man. I think it's an enjoyable movie. I think this movie works so good because Edgar Wright was involved in it. Edgar Wright was supposed to write this movie, but left off the creative differences. I think he wrote most of the script, so you can tell his influences in this movie. And you can tell when he gets Ant-Man and Wasp, his influences were really there. But Ant-Man, enjoyable, small movie. I enjoyed it. It's good for what it was. It introduced Ant-Man perfectly. Number 16, I have The Incredible Hulk, which this is the second movie of Martin Cinematic Universe, and it's also the second movie of Phase 1. And this... Oh, so many people forget about this movie. They forget this is an MCU movie. I think the problem with this is that nothing's really come out of this film. And when you watch this film, it's like so much different than the other MCU movies. And yeah, you had Edward Norton. I thought he was great as Bruce Banner. Liv Tyler, I liked her as Betty Ross. Tim Roth was good as Abomination. Was good as Jenna Ross, which he passed away last year, which is kind of sad. But The Incredible Hulk is a good movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. So many people say it's the worst one. I don't think it's the worst one. I think it's a good one. Like you can tell it's more serious and it's more. You can tell the tone is way more different than all the other movies in the MCU. You had a post-credit scene with Tony Stark, which I think was good. It was hinting to the Avengers. And yeah, I like this movie. And also, as I did this movie, Captain America New World Order, which will have Anthony Mackie come back as Captain America. You have General Ross, Thaddeus Ross. He will be played by Harrison Ford. He will be Red Hulk. We will be having the leader played by Tim Blake Nelson, who was in this movie, which I'm glad they finally did something with him. Also, we're getting Liv Tyler. It just got announced, I think, yesterday that Liv Tyler will be coming back as Betty Ross. The first time since it was 15 years since this movie as Betty Ross, which I'm happy. I'm happy they finally got Liv Tyler and they're actually doing something with Betty Ross. And yeah, I hope we get a standalone Hulk movie in the future with Mark Ruffalo. I kind of like Edward Norton. It's actually only had one movie, but there was stuff behind the scenes. But I still prefer Edward Norton. I still think he's the best Hulk we got. He's much better than Mark Ruffalo, but I hope we get Fan of Storm, so I hope we get a World War Hulk movie. But yeah, it's been a whole great movie. Number 13, I have Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 15, I have Spider-Man Homecoming, directed by John Watts. This starred Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr., it starred Michael Keaton as the Vulture, and I think it's a good movie. I think it's my second favorite after No Way Home. I love this movie. It's okay. I have problems with it, but it's nowhere near as good as the Raimi movies or the May Spider-Man movies, but I think it's okay. It does what it does. It's a good introduction to Spider-Man. Even though technically this was the second time we saw him, because he was in Civil War, but even though it was an origin, which I'm happy it was an origin story, I think it was okay. I did what it did, and yeah. So yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 14, I have Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Now this movie is the sequel to Black Panther, and this came out last year, and this was the last movie of Phase 4. And yeah, I thought the big problem with this movie is that it came right. Well, Chadwick Boseman was supposed to be in this movie. They announced at D23, and he sadly passed away in 2020. So it made this movie. So this movie was in and then they decided to pause the movie, and they had to give Shuri a much larger role, and she was technically the focus, and they decided not to cast Chadwick Boseman, and yeah, so we're left with this movie. I think this movie's okay. I watched it twice in the cinema. The problem with this movie, I just feel like it was too long. You cut 30 minutes from it. And I thought I think Angela Bassett is probably the best part of this movie. She dies at the end, which I thought was unnecessary, but I thought Namor was good. I thought the actor who played Namor was good. I thought Shuri was good. They gave her more to do. Winston Duke was good. Ironheart was okay, even though I don't know much about Ironheart, which we will see on our TV show. Okoye was good, and yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. Like, would I go back and watch it? No, I prefer the first movie way more than this movie. But it's a fun movie. If you like it, it's fine. But yeah, I think it's a step down the first one. Number 13, I have Doctor Strange. The first Doctor Strange movie directed by Scott Derrickson. I think this movie is good. Yes, it's plain boy numbers, MCU. Like, it follows the tropes of many MC movies, mainly Iron Man 1, but I think it's a good movie. It's a good origin movie. It's a fun movie. It's introduced magic into the MCU. And yeah, even though I didn't know anything about Doctor Strange, but it's a good origin movie. Yeah, there's some jokes that don't work. I thought the origin was good. I love the effects. The way they did the effects was good. I enjoyed it. I highly recommend you check this out in 3D. If you have a 3D TV, you should get this in 3D. It will look amazing in 3D. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch was good. Yeah, Chiwetel Ejiofor was good. Rachel McAdams was good as Christine Palmer. You have Benedict Wong, and then you had Mads Mikkelsen as Calcilius, and you had Tilda Swinton as the Asian one. I don't love Doctor Strange, a great movie. Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch was good. He's Doctor Strange. And yeah, it's a great, enjoyable movie. Number 12, Guardians of the Galaxy, the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. No, I love this movie. I love it. Directed by James Gunn. I like how he took a bunch of unknowns and he made them household names. They have Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista, Zoe Saldana, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel. They all did a great job. James Gunn did a great job, but I'm happy he's running DC. Like this tone, this is one of I think this is probably the best movie. He's the best comic book movie he's done. I just enjoy it. I didn't know anything about the Guardians of the Galaxy when this movie came. It was amazing. I loved it. So many memorable moments and such good. He took a raccoon and a talking tree, made it popular. So yeah. Number 11, I have Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. This is the second movie of Phase 4. And yeah, this movie was great. I enjoyed it. I remember when they announced Shang-Chi, I was like, who's Shang-Chi? So yeah, I saw the trailer. I thought it was great. We're finally getting an Asian superhero, like an Asian one in like a big budget, a big budget, an Asian-led superhero movie. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I love Wenwu. I love the Mandarin. I love Shang-Chi. I love the relationship between him and his dad. I love the fight at the end. Yeah, I thought like the CGI is not good, but I still think it was good. It was emotional. Trevor Slattery comes back. You have Katie, played by Aquafina. You have Michelle Yeoh as his nan, Shang-Chi's nan. And it was just a good movie. I enjoyed it. Benedict Wong's in this movie. You also have guest appearances, cameos by Captain Marvel and Hulk. And yeah, it's a good movie. I think it's one of the best movies of Phase 1. I really enjoyed it. It really surprised me. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. I love the action. And yeah, I can't wait for Shang-Chi 2. Um, Number 10 of Captain America the First Avenger. This was the first Captain America movie, and this was the fifth movie in Phase 1. Now, I like this movie. Yeah, this is my weakest, one of the Captain America movies. I feel like the sequels are good. What I liked about the Captain America is that they kept getting better and better. And like you have Chris Evans, which I thought he was great as Captain America. You have Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter. You have Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes. Tommy Lee Jones. You have Red Skull played by Hugo Weaving, which I thought was great. I love Hugo Weaving. It's a shame he didn't come back. Yeah, and he was in Infinity War Endgame, but he was played by a different actor. And yeah, this was a good movie. Good introduction to Captain America. Though I didn't know anything about Captain America, but this movie was great. A great depiction of World War II. And yes, that's Captain America: The First Avenger. Number 9, I have Black Panther, the first movie. I love this movie. I love Black Panther. When he first showed up in Civil War, I thought it was great. When his father died, I thought he was great. I thought it was a great. Like, I love Killmonger. I think Killmonger is one of the best villains we've had in the MCU, and I just enjoyed. I think my problem with the movie, I think, is the CGI. At the third act, when they were fighting, you could tell the CGI was not good. It wasn't done. But overall, it was a good movie. Yeah, I don't like some of the jokes, but I think it's one of the best MCU solo movies we've had. One of the best ones we've had. So yeah, it's Black Panther. Very good movie. And I even like the soundtrack. This soundtrack was good. Number 8, I have Avengers Endgame. This is the fourth Avengers movie. It was directed by the Russo brothers. I think it was a good movie. Great combination of 23 years, 11-year build up, and this was a great movie. I saw it in the cinemas. This was like an event you had to see. The last movie I faced, like it was just a good movie. My only problem with this movie, I don't like the middle bit. I don't like the time travel, the time heist. I don't like it. I love the beginning. I like the third act. I thought it was good. I like how portals play. It was a good movie. It was just so good. So yeah. Number 7, I have Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie. This one is special. It's the first movie of Phase 1, and it's the first MC movie, and it's a great movie. Robert Downey Jr. is excellent in this movie. I love Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts. Terrence Howard was good as Rhodey. I love Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane, aka Ironmonger. And it's a good movie. It's one of the best origin movies they've had. And so yeah, that is it with Iron Man. There's not much to say. I think the movie's good. There's really no faults in it. I think it's great. For the jokes were balanced. I thought everything was on point. Even the suit, when he puts on the suit, that still holds up. And I love the Iron Man. It's a good movie. Robert Downey Jr. is just great in this movie. That's Iron Man. Number 6, I have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That is the second Doctor Strange movie. I thought it was great. I like Benedict Cumberbatch. I thought it was goodness. Richard Adams was goodness. There's the Olsen, Benedict Wong, the person who plays American Chavez. I think my problem with the movie was the writing. I just feel like it could have been written better. Like, the big problem with this movie is this was supposed to be directed by Scott Derrickson, and then he left, and then we had Sam Raimi, which I think Sam Raimi was good, but I feel like the problem with it was I feel like the MCU was just I think the problem with the writing. I loved it like the Illuminati. I thought it was kind of underwhelming. I don't like how they all died, but I mean, I don't know if we'll get Doctor Strange 3. They've not announced it yet, but it's an okay movie. It's not as good as the first one, but it's an enjoyable movie. I wish they explored the multiverse more, but number 5, I have Spider-Man No Way Home. Now this is the third Spider-Man movie in the MCU, and this is probably the best one. I enjoyed it. All the villains come back. Tobey Maguire comes back. Andrew Garfield comes back. You have Green Goblin. You have Green Goblin, Doctor Octopus, Sandman, Electro. You have Lizard all coming back. It's just a very heartfelt movie. I have problems with it, but I still think it's an okay movie. It's the best one in the MCU. And this had a better understanding of the multiverse than Doctor Strange did, but yeah. I saw it, I think, 4 times in cinema, and I enjoyed it, and yeah. There's no way home. I recommend you check it out, and yeah. Number 4, I have Captain America: Civil War. This is the third Captain America movie. I love this movie. I love the, I love Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. They're the highlights of this movie. You have the introduction to Spider-Man in the MCU. You have the introduction of Black Panther, and yeah, it's a good movie. My only problem is I just feel like some of the CGI, like for example, the airplane battle. You can tell like the CGI and stuff, the way it was shot, it just wasn't good. But yeah, so I like the fight between Iron Man, Captain America, and Bucky. I thought the Winter Soldier, I thought it was great. So yeah, that's Captain America: Civil War. Number 3, we have Avengers, the first Avengers, directed by Joss Whedon. Um, this was a this one is a great movie. I enjoyed it. I thought everyone was good. Iron Man, Captain America, you had Thor, you had Hulk, you had Black Widow, Hawkeye all coming together. You have Nick Fury, you have Loki played by Tom Hiddleston. It was a good movie. I even liked the 360 turn they did. It was just great. The chemistry between them was good. Such a good story. And the Avengers, the first Avengers movie, I highly recommend you check it out. It was a great movie. It's the last movie of Phase 1, and it's the 6th MCU movie. So yeah, that's the Avengers. And then number 2, I have Captain America: Winter Soldier, which is the second Captain America movie. Which I actually like this movie. This one is really good. I like how this is serious, and I like how they stick to it, and I like how they never deviate from it. I think it's a great movie. You have Falcon in here. You have Crossbones. You have Alexander Pierce played by Robert Redford, and it's just a good movie. And it's just a Winter Soldier, and um, it's a great movie. It's like one of the best ones they did, and yeah. So like I love the tone. I like it. This is directed by the Russo brothers, and yeah, this is just a great movie. And then number 1, we have Avengers: Infinity War, which this is my favorite MC movie. It's no debate. It's my favorite one. I enjoyed it. This is the one I rewatched the most. I just love it. I love the battle in Wakanda. I even like the one in the beginning. I just thought like everyone was good. Specifically Josh Brolin. I thought he was good. And um, yeah, it was a good movie. So much memorable stuff in the movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was a good movie. It was better than Endgame, and yeah, it's Infinity War. And so yeah, that's it. Is it with all the MCU ranking? That is it. So guys, thank you for watching my videos. My next video. Bye.